All right, let's talk about something we all use every single day, the simple text message. You know that thing that's been around for over 30 years? Well, it is going through its biggest, most important upgrade ever. We're talking about a massive change to how literally billions of us communicate, and yeah, it might just be the beginning of the end for that whole green bubble, blue bubble war.
But before we get into all the nitty-gritty tech, let's start with a really simple question. When you send a text, who can actually read it? Now, the answer used to be pretty straightforward, but today, well, it's a whole lot more complicated and, honestly, way more interesting.
So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at the app on your phone. Then we'll zoom out to see the tech behind it and the big corporate battles that got us here. And after that, we'll zoom right back into what this all means for your data and your privacy, before finally looking at what's next.
Okay, Section 1, upgrading your texts. Let's start right where this whole story lives for most Android users, inside the Google Messages app.
And the scale here, it's just mind-blowing. We're talking over 5 billion downloads. That's a B. Google Messages is the default for a huge chunk of the planet. It's basically the delivery truck for this entire new standard.
And for you, the user, the benefits are awesome and immediate. You can finally send high-res photos and videos that don't look like a pixelated mess. You get to see when your friends are typing, you get real read receipts, and group chats are so much better. And yeah, this now even works when you're texting your friends with iPhones. It's all the stuff we expect from modern chat apps, but now it's baked right into your phone's default messenger.
All right, let's move on and see how this all works. Because all those cool features are powered by a technology that's been in the works for decades. It's time to pop the hood and see what's really going on.
The magic behind all of this is something called Rich Communication Services, or RCS. Just think of it as the official industry-approved replacement for that ancient SMS standard. It's basically a new, shared language for our phones, a protocol that sends messages over Wi-Fi or data instead of the old-school cell signals. And this new language, it allows for way richer, way more interactive chats.
And when you see them side by side like this, you realize just how massive of a leap this is. That old 160-character limit? Gone. Blurry photos? Nope, we get high-res media now. But the biggest deal, for sure, is the security. We're going from unencrypted, easy-to-intercept messages to ones with end-to-end encryption. This isn't just a small tweak, it's a complete overhaul of a technology we rely on every single day.
But here's the thing, this revolution did not happen overnight. I mean, look at this timeline. Development started way back in 2007. It kind of sputtered along for years and even had a failed launch in 2012 with a brand called Join. It really took until 2019 for Google to put its foot on the gas and push it globally, and all the way until 2024 for Apple to finally get on board and complete the puzzle.
And that long, messy timeline? It wasn't just about technology problems. Oh no. It was about a full-on battle for control between the world's biggest mobile carriers and tech giants, and every single one of them had their own agenda for the future of messaging. For years, RCS was basically a zombie project. I mean, it was technically alive, but it was just shuffling along, not going anywhere. The problem was, every mobile carrier saw texting as their turf, so they all tried to build their own version of it, hoping they could control it and make money from it. And that just created this huge fragmented mess, where a message from one network wouldn't work on another. It completely defeated the whole point of a universal standard.
And this quote from an industry analyst back in 2015 just nails it. While all the carriers are busy fighting, the project was literally drowning in bureaucracy and becoming totally irrelevant. I mean, apps like WhatsApp and iMessage were just eating their lunch. So the big turning point came when Google just decided to take charge. They saw their default Android messaging app falling way behind Apple's iMessage, and they knew they had to do something. So they bought a company called Jive Mobile, used their cloud tech to create a single, unified, universal profile, and then started offering it directly to us, the Android users. They essentially went around the carriers who just couldn't get their act together.
So, now we get to the crucial part. This powerful new tech is on our phones, but what does that mean for our privacy? Who gets to see our data, and who's making the rules here? Google's promise on this is pretty clear. They say your chats are end-to-end encrypted. Now what that means is the message gets scrambled into unreadable code the second you hit send, and it only gets unscrambled when it hits the recipient's device. You can think of it like a digital lockbox. Only you and the person you're texting have the key. Nobody in the middle, not your carrier, not even Google, can peek inside. But here's the catch. The content of your message is one thing, but the information about your message, that's another story. So, is the entire conversation really, truly private? And this table breaks it down perfectly. The message itself, your words, your photos, your files, that's all encrypted and private. But Google and your carrier still collect what's called metadata. This is stuff like your phone number and unique device IDs. Now, this data is needed for the system to even work, for billing and just making sure your message actually gets to the right person, but it's super important to know that it is being collected.
And this whole data issue goes beyond just privacy. It's also about control. Look at this question from a user online. What happens when you actually need a copy of your own conversations? Maybe for legal reasons, or just to have your own records.
Well, surprisingly, Google Messages doesn't have a built-in export button for a whole conversation. To actually do it, you have to use a third-party app. It's a solution that works for sure, but it kind of highlights that having full control over your own messaging data isn't always as simple as it should be.
And speaking of control, there's a new feature rolling out for businesses called RCS Archival. It basically lets a company save all the RCS messages sent and received on a work phone. This is all about helping businesses comply with legal rules that require them to keep records of company communications.
Now, before anyone freaks out, let me be crystal clear. This only affects company-owned, fully managed devices. If you bought your phone yourself, this feature has absolutely nothing to do with you. Your personal device, your personal conversations, they remain your own. And this brings us to our final section. After decades of false starts and corporate drama, the path is finally clear for a single, unified future for messaging.
With Apple finally jumping on board and adopting RCS in iOS 18, which was probably thanks to a mix of user pressure and new rules in places like Europe, the very last major roadblock is gone. We are right on the edge of a world where the 30-year reign of SMS is officially over, and the basic messaging experience between all phones is getting a massive upgrade. Which brings us to our final and most critical question. The technology is finally universal, a goal that took decades to reach. But now that it's here, who's actually responsible for keeping our conversations private? Is it Google, Apple, the phone companies, or ultimately, is it up to us? That's the conversation that's really just getting started.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next video.